Coming to you live this week from the Beltline in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm your host, Kelly Boshton. And if you think you're a normal person, welcome to the Normal Person Podcast.
Some people act like normal's a four-letter word, but most of us want to be normal. To sit and talk for a bit about it, whatever it is. Are you okay today to press play? Is there any other way to be normal?
In our debut episode, we sit down and chat with passing strangers about what things they collect and why. Now, I don't want to kick off the first episode of this podcast by whipping out a Webster dictionary, but I think we can all agree that a collection means many different things to many different people.
I collect Bratz dolls,
silver coin,
action figures,
sunglasses,
tools,
lip glosses,
rock, four-leaf clovers,
amethyst.
As we prepare to embark into the fascinating world of collectibles, I also encourage you to think about the things you collect in your own life. What made you start those collections? And what do you think you get out of it at the end of the day? And now, I'd like to introduce you to the first two guests ever on this podcast. These two friends happened to walk by our mobile podcast booth right when we finished setting up, and they each had a very sentimental collection rooted in objects that reminded them of their families. What are y'all's names?
I'm Emily. I'm Taryn,
Taryn,
and I
Emily.
live in Atlanta, and Emily's visiting me this weekend from Indiana.
I live in West Lafayette, Indiana, so I live about 5 minutes from Purdue's campus.
Nice. Tell me about something that you collect.
Yeah, so this is so random, but when I was little, we went to Washington, D.C., and I was in the gift shop, and I saw little glasses, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are so cute. They're like little flowers on them.
Yeah.
I was like, why are there so many little glasses? And I was like, Mom, can I buy one? She's like, sure, whatever. Lets me buy them.
Your mom lets you get?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then we started going like vacation to other places because I was like 6 when I bought the first one. And then I just kept buying these little glasses. And then when I got older, I realized they were shot glasses. So I was
so
collecting
funny.
shot glasses.
Did you like drink out of them as a kid?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
just collected
It'd be funny
them.
if you had a little tea party.
That would be really cute.
I mean, I did do little tea parties with my American Girl dolls, but I don't think we drank with our. That was my collection. It kept in my curio cabinet. I didn't really touch them, but yeah, I didn't really realize till I was older that I was literally collecting shot glasses without knowing it. I just thought they were cute little glasses.
How many do you have?
Like 30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, a decent amount.
Enough to where people would question if you're an alcoholic.
Correct.
Yeah. Taryn, do you have any collectibles to share?
I collect all letters or mail that I used to get when I was younger, like from family, like any birthday cards or anything in the mail. Like I would go to camp and my mom would send me letters. I have like this full stack back home of just letters that I love. I'm not usually a collector, but that's something that's sentimental to me, especially the handwriting. I think it's like the handwritten letters or something that I love.
Especially like family members that may not be here anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, that's something I keep. I'm not saying all mail. I'm saying like handwritten letters from camp, like mail, birthday cards, like college graduation cards I kept.
Around the same time I started to wrap up this interview with Emily and Taryn, I noticed someone standing about 30 feet away shooting a vlog. Naturally, my curiosity got the better of me, and I couldn't resist inviting them onto the show to share what they were doing and what they like to collect. So tell me a little bit about your vlogs.
So my name is Jay Shell, you guys. My platform is called Out Loud. It's a media platform that's centered around mental health.
Cool. My mom's a therapist.
Is she?
Yeah. Shout out to Meredith.
Shout out to her.
Yes.
Shout out to her. I'm also an actress outside of my content creation. So that's what I went to school for. And so I really enjoy like being in front of a camera. And so my vlogs are definitely normal, to be honest, because I consider myself as just a simple lifestyle vlogger. I literally just turn on the camera and just do what I do.
Before I get into the topic today, like for someone getting into vlogs, it's kind of scary, right? Going out and just being like, what's up guys, subscribe to my channel. So what advice would you give to people that are wanting to jump into it?
First and foremost, I always say be yourself, just go for it. But I will say it kind of comes with time with vlogging. Like I've been walking around with this and I know people are probably like, oh, what she's doing. But just don't think too hard about it. Don't overthink it. Just pick it up and go.
Great advice. Okay, so Normal Person Podcast, we talk to people for 5-10 minutes. Today's topic is about collectibles. Do you collect anything?
Do I collect anything? No. No. Okay, let me stop. I do collect lip gloss.
Lip gloss.
I have a lot of lip glosses. I love lip gloss.
What do you think separates a collection from a hoarding situation? Is it that you just have a lot of it and it's now a collection, or do you think that you intentionally were like, no, I want to collect these?
I think it's just kind of based on what you like. Like,
Yeah.
I love lip gloss. Like, I will run through lip glosses a lot. So I feel like that is kind of different. But some people do like to collect certain items, and it's like something that brings them that comfort. I think that that's very important in life in general, just having something that brings you comfort. Like, a lot of people collect dolls. You know, maybe they're connected with their inner childhood, which is key. You want to connect with your inner childhood. So if you didn't grow up purchasing Barbie dolls, go purchase some now.
Right.
You're an adult. Like, you maybe you didn't have them when you were younger. Now it's like, okay, I want to heal that.
My
inner
conversation with
childhood.
Jay revealed a fascinating insight I'd never really considered. Many collectors seem to pursue items they couldn't really get as kids. So, with that in mind, I'd like you to meet the man whose collection connects directly to his inner childhood. But this nostalgic collection also comes at a small cost. All right, so we'll kind of just cut through the ice here. Get right into this question. Do you collect anything?
DC Universe action figures, some of which are from my childhood. Some are, a little past when I was too old to be playing with action figures, but I would go to Toys R Us and get them anyway and just keep them and enjoyed them. And then, with eBay and all that kind of thing, it's gotten a little out of control.
I did want to ask you, why DC? And why not Marvel?
I did have some Marvel stuff, and actually over the pandemic, I think I sold all the Marvel stuff that I had. I think the first action figures that I really remember having were an old line called Migos, which are 8-inch figures. They have clothes and that was the first toys I remember getting as a kid. This is going back in the early 70s.
Wow.
Yeah. And I got the DC ones, and that just kind of stuck with me.
So let's break this down a little bit.
Sure.
When did you realize, so you said at a certain point you stopped playing with them, but where were you okay, this is something that I like doing?
I enjoy it. I enjoy it, and I like the aspect of getting a complete collection of a series.
It's satisfying?
It's very satisfying to do that.
Is this something that you just do inwardly, or do you share this with the world at all?
Well, it's definitely, if you were to go into my home office, which my wife calls my fortress of solitude, it's shared with anybody that goes in there. I would say it takes up about 2/3 of all the wall space in there. And then there are pictures, like a gallery wall on one wall completely. But we just recently moved here, and I shifted to displaying them in a different way than I have before, where I am using pegboards so that I can stack the figures multiples deep on those, just because I don't have as much space as we did in our prior place. So it looks a little bit like a comic book store.
Yeah. Is that the vibe that you're going for? Does that make you feel nostalgic or something?
It does definitely make me feel nostalgic.
Okay.
I like the look of it. I like seeing the older stuff mixed with the newer stuff. So yeah.
Wow.
I don't know that it was entirely intentional. I think it was more practical at first. Just how can I display all this stuff with less wall space?
What advice would you give to people that maybe are interested in the same type of collectible, but they're well, I don't even know where I'd start?
My advice would be don't start.
Oh, okay. Don't collect.
It's something I'm actually very conflicted with at this point. Should I, start selling things? Should I start getting rid of...
What's the confliction?
Well, I like it. I like going in my office and seeing the stuff, but it's taking up a lot of wall space. It's taking up a lot of space in our storage unit.
Do you feel like it's starting to take over your life a little bit?
I don't think it takes over my life. Yeah, I don't think it takes over my life. It's a shared interest I do have with my son.
Okay, good.
He collects primarily Funko Pops.
Okay.
But
that's a very, very deep iceberg.
Too many.
Yes.
There's too many licenses they have. It's crazy. But he's also interested in a lot of the DC stuff. So there's a line that's out now where sometimes it does take over where, we're going to Walmarts and we're going to places because he wants to see, can I find this one or that one?
Yeah, and that's like bonding, and it gets you out of the house,
Sure. Sure.
Okay, last question. What advice would you give? Well, I could have spent all day talking to John about his impressive DC action figure collection. As our conversation was wrapping up, 2 friends approached the podcast booth, and one of them had a very similar inner childhood healing collection to John. However, this one didn't take as much wall space. Take a listen.
No, I'm scared.
I collect Bratz dolls.
Oh,
no way. How long you been doing that?
Like 10 years.
Really?
I don't got that many though.
Oh.
Like,
how many do you
But
have?
it's like the
10.
unique ones.
Yeah, no.
No?
Just the ones you see at the store.
Oh.
Well,
But yeah.
what draws you to? So you say you don't collect that many. What makes you decide, like, I'm going to spend some money on this and get this?
It gotta be like a real exotic looking one, like real, like.
Do you keep it in the box or do you take it out?
I play with them.
Interesting.
I'm crazy.
Yeah. No, you're not crazy.
I really. That's about it.
Okay.
Like, I just, I play with their hair and I'm like, okay. it's
What's your
cute.
favorite one?
The name?
Yeah. Or however you want to describe it. I don't know anything about this.
Oh, you gotta see the movie. Oh my God, it's a Bratz movie. My favorite one's Sasha, because she looks the most like me.
Okay.
Even though I'm a guy and she's a girl. But like she's like chocolate like me.
What is her outfit like?
She always change, like, see, I change my hair color a lot. So her hair color is always changing. She like wears loud prints.
Okay.
I just like resonate with that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he found her.
No, Sasha's. I'm liking that.
Sassy.
Yeah, she's
I'm gonna get
sassy.
you one for Christmas. I
Really?
got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say to So, I genuinely did not know Bratz were such a sought-after collectible item until long after this interview was over. During editing, I looked up the average Bratz doll collection price on eBay, and let's just say our new friend Caleb should really consider this collection an investment at this point, and not just a hobby. However, the conversation quickly shifted away from nostalgic collections when Caleb's friend Jessica decided to share her unique and very lucky collection.
I collect 4-leaf clovers.
Whoa, how do you do that?
That is so sweet.
Tell me the strategy behind 4-leaf clover collection, because I've never seen one in my entire life. But I don't look for them.
The fake ones.
I wish I had my other bag because I have like a little envelope with them. I don't have them like
How many do you have you collected?
quite a few. I'd say probably over 50.
What?
Yeah.
You're a lucky girl.
50
Yeah.
4-leaf clovers.
Yeah. I mean, I just find them when I'm on walks or something.
Okay.
Or like even like now I could just take some time to look for them. You don't have to look for them every day.
Right.
I mean, I did look up the world record for how many someone's found, and she's found way too many. So I'm not shooting them.
How many?
Like
Yeah.
over 200,000.
But she probably, that's like all she does, probably,
Yeah.
right?
I'm
200,000 seems ridiculous.
No, it's a lot.
Yeah.
That's so many.
They gotta be
There's
fake.
not 200,000 strands of grass in this city, you know?
Literally.
Like, I'm like, come on.
Literally.
Okay,
I mean,
so
I'll try. We'll see what happens.
I'm rooting for you. Talking with Caleb and Jessica made me realize that a collection doesn't have to be something just sentimental, expensive, or even something that takes up 2/3 of your office space. A collection can be simply just things you find outside, even if those things aren't as elusive as the 4-leaf clover.
I collect rocks.
Okay. Like just normal rocks or like...
I mean, all types, honestly. Like, I couldn't even tell you the names of the rocks I collect. But anywhere I go, I just like to collect a rock. I've been collecting rocks since I was a kid.
How many rocks do you have?
Too many.
Like, what do you think number-wise?
Oh, goodness. Okay, I have so many. Like, they're all around my house. It's gonna be over 100 for sure.
That's impressive. All different types of rocks?
Yeah, like I have like let me see. I have like aquamarine. I have like a little marble rock.
Is that your favorite one?
No, the aquamarine one is because it's my birthstone. It's like a greenish blue color and it's so cute. Yeah. So they're like memories almost everywhere I go. I can always, if I pick up one of my rocks, I can tell you where I got it and what happened that day or anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. What advice would you give to rock collectors that are just starting out? Should they pick up every rock they like, or should you be strategic?
They should definitely, I mean, if it catches their eye, because, I mean, if it catches my eye and if I really like it, then yeah, you should pick it up.
Right.
So, yeah. But if it's like a strategic. if it's a moment like that, I guess then yeah. But I just get them if I really like them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just whatever you're drawn to.
Yeah.
What would you say in terms of
As I continued listening to more strategies and tips for rock collecting, I began scanning my surroundings to see if any rocks caught my eye. Could I actually find something to start a collection that day? And this made me wonder something else. Once I began a collection, what value would it bring to my own life? Thankfully, the next guest had collections that not only answered this question, but brought it into a new, unique perspective.
you like to collect things?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, I'll
yeah.
let her go first, then I'll go.
Yeah. So what do you like to collect?
Crystals.
Ooh, what kind of crystals? I've talked to
All
another
different.
crystal collector today.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, cool. So all different types of crystals depending on what I am going through in that season of my life. It's all emotional. It's all for meditation and spiritual purposes for me.
Okay. What's your favorite crystal that you have?
Ooh, I'm a good amethyst. I love a good amethyst just because I feel like amethyst is always good for protection and it's just so much going on. I keep an amethyst in my house for protection. So whenever someone comes in my house, I'm protected.
From them or just?
From them
Okay.
and anything, any spirits, energy, any negative energy.
So amethyst is kind of like,
It's for protection. I forgot what else.
have you all ever seen Hocus Pocus?
Yes,
You
I
know,
remember
the
that.
like salt circle? So is amethyst like that? Like it's like a barrier? Okay. I'm just wondering, I'm curious.
I mean, crystals are kind of witchy.
I mean, yeah. But they're pretty too. Okay, so what do you collect?
Well, I collect hats.
Oh, yeah. I liked your hat.
Thank
Stands
you.
out. Do you always wear a hat when you go out? Or is
No,
it-
I do not.
Okay.
So I mean, well, it depends. I'm gonna say it depends. I
Yeah.
feel like hats are very versatile.
Yeah.
And to the point of, you can wear a hat. Like for me, like as a woman, if my hair is done, if I'm wearing a certain outfit, I can throw on a hat with that outfit to kind of, complement it, give it a little bit more, pizzazz.
Yeah.
But if I'm having a bad hair day, which I am today, see the pony,
Yeah.
but it's just a great way to still like compliment an outfit or just to have on having those sort of days.
As this conversation about hat collections continued, I started thinking about the many different types of collections I've been hearing about throughout the day. And one thing remained unanswered at this point. Is it possible to have a collection that makes you both happy and brings tangible value to your life? And that's when I met a man by the name of Dave, who shared some interesting insights into his now 30-year-old collection/investment.
What's your name?
My name Dave.
Dave?
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a cook. I've been a chef since '95, so I run a food truck down in LaGrange, Georgia called Chuck E. D's Deli with the
nice.
best Philly cheesesteaks in the state. That's what they tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, so-
What do you think makes them the best in the state?
My Chuck E. Dust.
My
I have a
Chuck E.
proprietary
Dust.
seasoning that I make, and it's
Okay.
called Chuck E. Dust.
Chuck E. Dust. Do you sell that or is it completely proprietary?
Completely proprietary. If I sold it to everybody else, then their food would taste like mine. So it's
That's a
best
good
for me
point.
to keep it
You
to
gotta-
myself.
And the quality control. It's like Coca-Cola, you got to keep. Do you have a vault that you keep it in?
Up in my head, yes.
Today's question, talking to people on the Beltline in Atlanta, is what do you collect?
I collect silver coins.
Silver coins.
Yeah, or any kind of silver really, but mainly coins.
Okay, so first question, why silver?
Because silver is going to do what gold did. I remember when gold was like at $300 an ounce.
Right.
So it's like an investment as well. There's different designs on them, like panda bears and stuff, or different moments in history on them and stuff like that. And then it holds a value as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like your money being in the bank all the time. You're holding actual physical silver.
Yeah.
If your house burned down, money burned up, silver stays either in that form or change form, but it still holds its value.
So is that the main reason you like to collect it, is because it's kind of like an investment?
Yeah, it's an investment, and it's just really cool to see, just to own it. When you holding silver, like have you seen John Wick?
Yeah.
You see that gold that they be having and they be sharing?
Yeah.
It kind of make me feel like that. Only thing is just with silver.
So you feel like, does it make you feel powerful, I guess?
It make me feel with worth.
So when you're buying silver, like where do you go and look for that?
I normally get it from reputable companies because they got clad silver too, which look like silver, but it's
not.
a different kind of metal on the inside, so it's fake. So
How do you decipher what's real and not real?
the best way to find out is just buy from a reputable company. Because there ain't no way to tell. They do got some chemicals you can put on it, but that's on the surface. If you can't cut it in half and really get on the inside of it, what you damaging the coin then.
Okay. So I'm going to definitely come to you in the apocalypse. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll connect.
On a serious note, Dave, if you're listening to this, let's actually connect for real. I didn't realize until after we talked that I never really got your number, and I do genuinely need a silver coin guy in my life. So just check the show notes, send an email, and we'll figure something out. Anyways, back to the show. Similarly to Dave, the second to last guest today also had an impressive collection that many would consider a practical investment. However, unlike Dave, this guest seems to have made his growing collection his entire personality in the best way possible.
Well, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. Your name's KB?
Yeah, I go by KB, and it stands for King Bands, like I told you.
Yeah.
My daddy always told me, you the prince, you the prince, you the prince. So I knew I was bound to become king.
Do you have anything that you hold on to that means something to you or do you think is a collection?
Tools, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I keep a lot of tools. Like, I got a battery tester, literally. I got a battery tester. But it's for testing like AA batteries, AAA batteries, or big voltage like, you wouldn't know what it's for, but it's another tool in my pocket. Like, I like to keep tools. Like, something that I can always use to work on something or fix on something. Like, I keep extra phone screens just in case they got extra screws in them. Because that way,
you never know.
Yeah, I never know. Just in case I got somebody who comes to me and brings me a phone, and I turn around and I open their phone up and just look inside of it and see, oh, this screen was acting up because they had a few missing screws or whatever like that, or they had something loose inside their phone. I want to make sure that it's tight, and I'm going to make sure that it's there. Like,
that makes sense.
There's no missing pieces.
Sounds like your collection's very practical, right? You collect things that you need for like your actual hustle.
Yeah.
For someone collecting tools, what would you say is a starting off point? What's the first thing they should do?
Organization.
What in what way?
Knowing exactly what you're looking for and where it's going to be at, and also not getting stuff confused and having too much of one thing in one place.
So spreading it out.
Yeah, spreading it out. Not having too much of too many things in one place. Like,
well, how do you organize it?
Only keep so much certain stuff in one place. Like, to a point to where I know I got enough cause when it comes to phones and stuff.
As much as I want to share more of the tool collecting and organizing tips I'd learned from King Bands, I think it's time to introduce you to the last guest of today's episode, who is a collector of sorts, but not in the same way that many of our other guests define that word. You'll see what I mean.
My name is David, and I work at a venture capital firm. It's one of the best groups of people I've ever worked with in my life.
So the work culture is amazing.
Work culture is amazing. It all feels like a big family. The people that invest in us feel like family. They'll come into the office and just mess with us sometimes. It's always very fun.
You have this radiant, positive vibe about you, so I have a feeling that you actually do like your job. Tell me about something you collect.
I collect people's voices. Like, I never forget like a voice. I'll always remember. Like, I'll see somebody. I will not remember names. I'm terrible at collecting names.
Oh, yeah.
But faces, voices, that's my thing. So maybe.
No, I mean, that's a collection. Do you have a strategy for that?
There's like a psychological thing called chunking.
Chunking?
What is that? So it's like, it's when you remember two different things together, and that helps you remember it better.
Gotcha.
So like, I guess for this, how I'm going to be able to chunk it is like, we did a podcast. Tell me your name.
Kelly.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Kelly, we did a podcast, and I was at the You Are Here sign.
Okay.
If you chunk those three things together, like, you're going to remember it better than if I just think like, oh, I did a podcast with Kelly. Oh, where did you do it? I don't know.
So it's like better for your brain because you might not remember all the pieces of information, but one of them will help you remember the others.
Yeah, it helps your brain.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there like a situation where you chunked and it really saved your...
Yeah, actually. So I was talking about my firm. Well, I can't say the guy's name. It's still confidential, but
Jeremy.
Jeremy. So Jeremy walked into our office one day and was like, hey, who are you? And I was like, I'm David. And he was like, okay, I want to talk to your boss. My boss's name is Doug. It's not Doug. I want to go talk to Doug. And I'm like, Doug's in a meeting. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to go and talk to him.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, Jeremy, all right.
Yeah.
So he barges into my boss's office while he's on like a call and is like, hey, Doug, we need to get coffee. We need to sit down and talk. Like, I want to talk to you. And my boss is just like, like kind of perturbed because it's like, wow, you're barging in on a meeting. Like, it's not like typical, I don't know, etiquette. And I remembered Jeremy's name because of that incident. So it's like...
Well, that's kind of traumatic though, you know?
A bit.
So, but like, because I feel like with trauma, you're going to remember.
A bit. Well, he came into the office again, and like I said, he's an investor. Or no, actually, it wasn't in the office. It was at an event, and it would be kind of messed up for me to forget his name. And I was like, "Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?" And he was like, oh, wow, you remember me? And I was like, yeah, of course I did. You came into the office the other day. You did the thing.
Yeah, everyone's talking about it. Yeah.
So
that's fun. Wow. Well, I'm going to have to remember that chunking.
Yeah.
Is there like a podcast you'd recommend on it? All right. Let me try to chunk my way through the end of this week's episode. Normal people, unique collections on your new favorite weekly podcast. Did I do it right? If you enjoyed our show, be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify to get notified each week when a new episode drops. And don't forget to give us a 5-star rating if you really liked it. And if today's episode about collections really resonated with you, we'd love to hear what you like to collect. So feel free to email us at normalpersonpod@gmail.com to share your collection or any other topics you'd like to hear us ask normal people about in upcoming episodes. And if you happen to spot me around Atlanta or anywhere else we'll be recording this, don't hesitate to stop by and say hello. Once again, I'm Kelly Boston, and this is the Normal Person Podcast. We'll see you next week.